Hello friends, in this video I am going to explain about the APIs in Pega. So what is meant by the API? Application a programming interface. We used to call it as API. Everywhere, any technology, everyone nowadays talk about APIs or services, etc. etc. Some people call it as services, some people call it as APIs, but there is a lot of difference. I mean, lot of difference in the sense, I'll tell you. I have a one calculator functionality. I have a one calculator functionality. For that, I have written a code completely for addition, multiplication, subtraction, and division. Okay, now someone interested about your functionalities. Okay, it's doing really great. Okay, then I want to use that functionalities. Then in that case, people will not directly share the developed code. People will not directly share the developed code. So what they can do, they will they will introduce some interfaces. They will introduce some interfaces. That interfaces are nothing but APIs. Just interface is nothing but a mediator. Ultimately it doesn't have any solution. See, for example, I'm going to purchase one house. Okay, usually I will contact some consulting groups or some brokers or some mediators, etc. Choose whatever the terminology you want. So but really this person or this broker or mediator doesn't have a original solution. This doesn't have any solution. So there is a third party or some other person, but this guy will act as a mediator. This guy will act as a this guy will interfacing, because I cannot directly contact with that person. So through this interface or through this person, I can talk to, or I can speak to, or I can have a discussion with that guy. But ultimately, this person is the interface. Similarly, even nowadays, everywhere also, let us suppose if you want to consume the Twitter API, if you want to access the Facebook functionality, if you want to access the YouTube functionality, or if you want to access any PayPal functionality, anything, everywhere we cannot directly access that code. So what they can do is they can introduce some interfaces. So we used to call it as a APIs. That is nothing but a application programming interface. They will not expose their complete programming logic. They will expose as a interfaces. That means okay, these are four functions, you can call these functions. Okay, that's it, you can call these functions. You don't know what is the logic inside behind that. That is, we will take care of it. As a client, you have to call this interface. That's it. That's why even if someone is developed any service, just they will give one URL. That's it, we will call that URL. That URL internally will execute it on the server side and do some logic and generating the response. Okay, so now why I am telling you is nowadays everywhere is APIs. Everywhere is APIs. Even in Pega also APIs. For example, you have developed one solution. You have developed one solution. What is that solution? I will send the list of all cases. I will send the list of all case types or cases. So now the third person or a client want to use this service. Client want to use this service. How can you share that service? How can you share that service? Because in Pega we have a services, right? In Pega we have a services. Either you can use a service soap or a service rest or a service SAP, service HTTP, etc. Blah blah blah. But finally you cannot share that complete how the service was implemented, what code you have written, what parameters you have used, etc. So you simply will share one URL, people will hit that URL, that URL will do everything. Here that URL will act as a API. Here that URL will act as a API interface. That is the interface. So in Pega, I have a requirement. I have a requirement. I want to create. I want to create one service. That service will give the all the list of operators. Our next requirement. I want to create a one service. I want to create a one service. That service will give the assignment details. I want to create a one service. That service will give the list of case instances. I want to create a one service which will give the list of nodes in my Pega application. How many number of nodes? Like this, these are the requirements. So as a Pega developer, what will you do? Immediately people will start writing the services. Immediately people will start writing the services. That is the problem here. Why? Because if you understand, is there any built-in APIs are provided by the Pega, then you no need to do anything. You can directly share that API's URL. That's it. You can directly share the API URL. Otherwise, what people will do, because lack of knowledge only, people will start writing, okay, we need to create a one service, we need to create a one activity, that activity will pull all the cases or all the list of operators from the database table, etc. Why all these things? First check, is there any services or APIs provided by the Pega? Yes, definitely. Pega has providing a lot of APIs. Pega has providing the lot of APIs. Then what type of APIs Pega providing? Is it a client side APIs or server side APIs? Yes, server side means Java APIs, nothing but a Pega APIs. Client side means nothing but a JavaScript APIs, nothing but a JavaScript APIs. Yes, Pega is providing all these APIs. How can we know what are the list of APIs provided by the Pega? So after you log into the Dev Studio, very important, very important. Just click on this resources. See this one, about Pega Infinity. What is the current Pega version you are using? Pega 8.6.0. Even some people doesn't know which version of Pega they are using. Okay, there is a one quotation. That guy completed MBBS, but he opened a medical shop. Like this only. Even we are very good in Pega, but we don't know which version of Pega we are using. What is the current version? So clean as much as information you need to gain. You should be very clear. Which interview point of view they will ask you. What is the patch version you are using? 8.6 or 8.6.1 or 8.6.2? They will confuse you. 8.6.2 or 8.6.3, etc. Now, what is my current version? My current version is about Pega Infinity 8.6.0. Okay, this is first. Next, what are all these things? There is a Pega API, JavaScript API, Engine API. Did anyone go through this anytime? Okay, I will talk about these three now. What is Pega support? Just click on it. It will redirect it to the support.pega.com. It will redirect it to the support.pega.com. Whatever the queries, if you are facing any issues in the real time, because we cannot do everything in Pega. We cannot do everything in Pega. Sometimes we are facing an issues in the application also. Sometimes we are facing an issues in the Pega product itself. So in that case, what can we do in the real time? We are not the product developers, right? Because we purchased the software. We cannot crack this software sometime. Obviously we have to reach out to the support.pega.com. You have to create a one service request to the Pega. In the real time we used to call it as a Pega SR. We used to call it as a Pega SR, service request. Okay, from this website you can create the service request. Now, so Pega platform help, Pega community. Okay, community.pega.com, where people are posting the questions and people are responding, etc. And what's new, the latest version. What's new in Pega means Pega Infinity 8.7, because this is the latest version, etc, etc. Okay, so the application guide. So the application guide means the complete Pega tool information. So we know Pega community, what's new, what is a Pega support, and what is about Pega Infinity, Pega platform, help. See this one, what's new in Pega platform. Everything you can find it out, this information from this. Okay, here also community.pega.com. Now we will talk about our important points, Pega API, JavaScript API, Engine API. See this one, they clearly mentioned Pega API. Just click on this Pega API. Just click on this Pega API. So now see here, here we have a two APIs, V1 Pega API and V2 DX API. Now I am not talking about what is the difference between the DX and V1 and V2, etc. I am just talking about API. There is a prediction API. Okay, see Pega is providing these many APIs. Then what is the purpose of creating the services? I mean, if the ready-made solution is already available, then there is no point of creating the service from the scratch again. That is my intention. So as I discussed with you, what is my requirement? I want to share the list of all cases, or I want to give the assignment details. Just check, is there any service or API provided by the Pega? See this one, list of case types. See this one, assignment details. Get action details of the applied this assignment. Get a case types, or is there any get cases? It will give the list of all cases. If you want to create a new case also, there is an API. What else? Is there anything related to the operators? So slash nodes, it will give the list of node IDs. It will give the list of node IDs, etc. Pools, queue process, requesters, users. It will, if you want to enable the user, if you want to disable the user, if you want to log out from the session. See, why I am saying all these things is, for example, I have a one another application which is not a Java application or a Pega application, but I want to display list of cases in my application. What can I do? Okay, then obviously I need to reach out to the Pega team. Is there any service from your side? Is it a REST service or SOAP service? Then I want to consume your service, etc. Then what the developer will do? No, we have to create a one service, either REST in SOAP, etc. Then we will share the details. Then what is the purpose of these built-in APIs? My question. That's why there are a lot of built-in APIs. Not lot of in the sense, okay, somehow some APIs. But again, I am telling you one more point. It is not possible all the time. It is a built-in APIs. For example, if the client is or another application person is asking a new API with a different functionality, if it is not available in these APIs, obviously you have to go and create that. There is no other option. Obviously you have to go and create that API. So just for awareness and knowledge purpose, see, there are APIs provided by the Pega. You can reuse those APIs and you can share these APIs to the clients, I mean, who want to consume your services, required services. You no need to create any new API. Now again I am telling you, my requirement is I want to send the list of cases or a list of case types. So other application team is asking these details. You no need to create a service. You no need to go and start creating the service REST or service SOAP or service HTTP, etc. There is a ready-made API. Now even if you want, you can directly test this as well. See this one. This is the list of case types. Just open this one. Click on that. Implementation, get the case types from the authenticated users application. Okay, now if you want, you can test it as well. If you want, you can test it as well. Remember this, all these are APIs. Okay, they mentioned it as APIs, but remember this, all these are internally as a services. That's why I told you, I don't know what they have implemented inside. I just only knows this URL, this case types URL, this is acts as API, this is acts as a RESTful API. If you want, you can test this URL as well. If you want, you can test this API as well. So how can you test it? Is there any option? I think yes. See this one, try it out. You can test it. 1 second. Okay, this is the case types. Now here, so response content type is application slash JSON. Try it out. Now what is the URL? This is the requested URL. HTTP colon localhost PR web API v1 case types. Now just click on hit this URL. Pega API management ID, use of TLS SSL required, PXOBJ class, Pega API error messages. Why I am getting an error means that is a different story. You can test this API directly from the browser or by using the Postman tool. You know, Postman tool is very important tool. Okay, I will make a different video when I have a time. You can test those APIs by using the Postman tool, etc. But remember this, if you want to see the original implementation of all these APIs, see, just go back. All these APIs service package, see, ultimately service package plays a major role in serving the services. Now ultimately, as I told you, internally all these are nothing but a services in Pega. Under the service package name API, go to the Dev Studio, records, integration resources, there is a service package. Now here Pega has a built-in service package for all these APIs, is API service package. See this one, this API service package name is API. If you want, you can check it. Okay, open this service package, API service package. I'm not talking about in detail about service package, because service package plays a major role while serving the services. Why we got an error here means this service package is expecting the HTTP, yes, not HTTP. HTTP, yes, not HTTP. Now what I can do is, site cannot be reached because your Pega server is not implemented with HTTPS protocol. It is only HTTPS. Sorry, HTTP. Now see this one, this is the service package. This service package come down How many list of services it is providing currently? See this one, all these the list of services providing. All the list of services are under the service package. Now why you got an error message? It means this service package is expecting require TLS SSL. Just what I am doing is click on save. Click on save. Now try. Now try. Instead of HTTPS, HTTP, and click on enter. Now it is asking username and password. Why because the authentication is required here. Authentication type is basic authentication. You have to provide the username and password of the Pega. That means you have to provide a one operator credentials. If there is no authentication, because mandatory, you have to choose either basic authentication, OAuth authentication, or custom authentication. Because if anyone want to use these APIs under the service package is configured as this is the authentication type basic. Now I am giving admin 90. Yesterday we created one operator, right? Rules 1 2 3. See how much time will it take? Now I am having all the list of case types under the JSON format. I am having all the list of case types under the JSON format. See this one, loan processing, product test case, sample case. Where is my friend Carlone? Carlone. See, all these are the list of case types. Similarly, if you want, you can test it another case types as well. So this is the get cases. Okay, you just try it out here also. You can test it for another. Yeah, try it out. What is the URL? This one. Now I am just hitting this URL cases. Pega API case management cases. For this also, you must provide a one input parameter. Input parameter. Because obviously we have to send a request. The request details contain some input parameters, right? Like this, all these are so many built-in APIs provided by the Pega. Only problem is lack of knowledge. We will never came into a situation, okay, these many APIs are provided by the Pega. You have to understand, if you want to upload any document also, that nowadays so many people are depending upon the APIs. DX APIs came into the picture only. Why? Because people are developing their own web applications in terms of the JavaScript, CoffeeScript, Backbone, nowadays Angular, and React.js. So clients are developing a normal web applications, but clients are sending the request to the Pega applications and fetching the data and displaying it. They don't want to come because they are not completely using the entire Pega application. They are using their own web applications and they are fetching the data and displaying the data. This is where the DX API came into the picture in this area only. Now the DX API is the most popular APIs in Pega. Why? Because so many clients are going to be use this DX API. Why? Because they don't want to use the entire Pega application. They want to create their own web application based on their native UIs. Whatever the UI they want, they can design and develop it. But they will send the calls internally to these APIs and fetching the data and displaying their web applications. You will get some questions on the DX API also in the interview point of view, and APIs also in the interview point of view. That's why. And this is the version 1, and there is a version 2, call it as a DX API. It's a completely not completely different, the same services, but the way of generating the response is different. The way of generating the response is different in DX API. In regular V1 API, the response is different with the DX API. If I have a time, I will make another video on this DX API as well. but try to understand these are the inbuilt Pega APIs. Okay, and even some people may not navigate to this page at least. Okay, they will simply ignore this. We don't know what all these things. Okay, now next one is, this is Pega API. Now if you want, you can navigate this to the from the admin studio. Go to the admin studio. You can navigate the same API from the admin studio, because Pega is providing a lot of APIs. Going forward, most of the people will create their own web applications. I will create my own web applications in .NET or PHP or another technology, or React based applications or Angular based applications. From that, I can send a request to this Pega application, just fetching the data. Instead of loading this entire heavy load Pega application, I can simply develop my lightweight web applications and I can make a calls. Now here resources. See this one, APIs. V1 Pega API, V2 DX API. So here I couldn't see this one. Here I couldn't see this. Okay, V2 DX API like this. You can use a Postman tool and you can test it also. Okay, each and every API needs some input parameters, and based on that you have to pass the parameters, and then only you will get the data. Then only you will get the data. Come back to Dev Studio. Open this API. Here now you can see the invocation history. You can see this invocation history. Now what API we accessed now here? What API we accessed? Case types, right? Under this API service package. See this one, case types. This is the URL. Pega API, because I did not develop this one. If you want, I will show you that one also. View invocation history. At what time people are send a request to this API, or people are send a request to this service. Let's see. When we click on view invocation history, request invocation summary is 0. Why? Because just now we sent a request, right? A refresh. Service invocation history. Okay, because usually we can see the invocation history also, but okay, just click on this case types. This is the service rest. This is the service rest. See this one, this is the original service developed by the Pega internally, but we don't know all these things, but we know only this URL. We don't know only this URL. This is nothing but a API. This is nothing but a API, or this is nothing but interface, but the original implementation is this one. Okay, this is the service rest class, etc. All this contains all these regular configurations. And what are the methods? Get method or post method. This is a get method. Now internally, what is the activity? Pz get case type. This is the implementation activity. This activity will contains the original logic. Everything is ready made, etc. That's it. Call pz case types internal. Now say this one, property set, starting flow list, etc. Finally they are primary dot case types, etc. They are appending. So they are fetching the data and they are generating as a JSON response. This is the original implementation. Now this is the briefly about Pega APIs. Now come back to, there is a one more API. See this one, JavaScript API. Just click on this. See, now in the section, right? In section, for example, you can open any section, user interface. Only way of learning is just spend some time on this tool. Just spend some time on this tool. Automatically you will get a lot of concepts and subject. How you are spending a time on a mobile and exploring the things, exploring the gadgets. Similarly, there is no theory for this. Now here, when I click on this one, go to the actions, click on create an action, add an event. Okay, click, add an action. See how many number of actions we have. For example, if I want to refresh the section, refresh. If I want to refresh the section, but it seems like this is just like a one graphical user interface configuration. It seems like for you it is just a graphical user interface graphical user interface section, but ultimately there was some JavaScript functions are calling internally. There was some JavaScript functions are calling internally. Those JavaScript functions are nothing but a JavaScript APIs like this. The moment when you configure like this, internally one function will be triggered. So this is the JavaScript API. See, there is a one function called it as a pega.api.ui.actions.refresh section. This is a one JavaScript function on the client side which will be executed. Client side. Because when you click on that button when you click on that button, the section will be reloaded, right? Refresh the section means section will be reloaded. That means the first event will be fired on the JavaScript side, and the JavaScript will send a request to the server to refresh or to reload the section. Even there are a lot of actions also. For all these actions, JavaScript APIs are provided by the Pega. Then next question, you can ask the next question, sir. Already we have all these graphical user interface actions. Then what is the purpose of these APIs, these JavaScript functions? Sometimes you need to call these functions. Sometimes you need to write a code. Sometimes in some places to reload the section. Everywhere you cannot configure like a button and click on section, right? There would be no such an option in the real-time scenarios. Sometimes you need to write a code. From that code you need to reload the section. Then how can you do that? You just call this function. You just call this JavaScript function. So these are the JavaScript APIs provided by the Pega. Refresh the section, refresh the harness, post value, set value, run data transform. In the real time, sometimes you you may need to invoke an activity from a JavaScript. You may need to invoke or call an activity from a JavaScript. How do you call an activity from a JavaScript? This is the code. Pega.api.ui.actions run activity. You must pass activity name, all these parameters, etc. So get data page, set focus. So very important, boss, all these things while exploring the Pega, because if you did not explore all these things, it will be difficult for you. Sometime when you came across such scenarios, you are unable to implement those scenarios. You cannot implement those scenarios. That's why explore. There is no way. So this is the JavaScript APIs. All these functions are already come up with Pega. You no need to include or you no need to install anything. All these are inbuilt. All the JavaScript files are inbuilt loaded by the Pega.
So this is the JavaScript APIs, very very important. Similarly, how Pega APIs, this is the JavaScript API. The most and most very very important one is, next one is engine API. See this one, engine. The name itself is defining the engine. We cannot see it. We cannot see the engines. We can see only outside. We cannot see the inside. But still, sometime if there is a problem, what mechanic will do, mechanic will open all these things, and mechanic will open the engine as well, and you can see, okay, what's happening inside. Similarly, what is this engine API? This is nothing but a Java API. How Pega implemented. Sometimes in Pega also you need to write some Java code. Then how do you write a Java code? For example, I want to get a value from the clipboard. I want to get a property value from the clipboard. I want to connect it to the database. How do you connect it to the database? So all those details are present in the engine API. This is not like a core rule engine. I'm not talking about that engine, rule engine. So here Pega provided one engine API, because sometimes when you open any OOTB activities in Pega, there you can see tools dot get parameter or tools dot get property, tools dot my step page or primary page, etc. Right? That means by using this engine API only, you can access those details. You can access those details. For example, I have a requirement bus. What is my requirement? My requirement is I want to get a property value which is present in the clipboard. You know, right, how to do that property set. But that is okay. But my requirement is I want to get that value using the Java code. How do you do that? Now, in my previous video, I created one zip file, create a zip file. In that zip file also, there is a possible, in that zip file, because there is a requirement, there is no other option. I have to return a Java code. In that Java code also, I am getting the configuration settings. So in Java code, if you want to interacting with the Pega engine, or if you want to interacting with the Pega clipboard, etc., you want to get all those values, you need one API, right? Or you need some code to get the clipboard value. Then how do you get a clipboard value? For example, now I will open one OOTB activity, create an operator. You can use any OOTB activity where the Java scripts are configured. In the interview point of view also, they will ask you a question, what is engine API or what is the tools API? Tools. See this one, there is some Java code. What is this one? Tools dot get parameter page. So this guy needs to write some Java code. This guy need to write some Java code. Ultimately, he has written some Java code. But in that Java code, he want to communicating with clipboard. He want to get the parameters. But how do you get the parameters? Now, normally in this step methods, param dot, you will get the parameter value. But inside the Java code, how do you get the parameter values? That's why Pega has provided an engine API. This is nothing but a see this one. Where is that engine API? Okay, just go back. Yes, this engine API. All these are packages in Java. Each and every package is having the list of classes. For example, com.pega.pega rules.pub. Inside this, how many number of classes? These classes. How many number of interfaces? These interfaces. Remember this, you no need to explicitly load anything. Pega, while starting the server, all these jar files will be loaded automatically regarding this engine API. See this one, com.pega.pega rules.pub.clipboard. So these are the interfaces and these are the classes. Now we will talk about what is meant by the tools here, because everyone is referring to the tools, right? Tools will give the public API. Tools is nothing but a referring to the public API. Where is that public API? Okay, see this one. To com.pegarules.pub, right? Uh, there is a one method, thread container dot public API. There is a method called it as a get public API. I will show you to get the public API first. In which package this public API method is present. Connect. Context. PR thread. This interface contains what are the methods? See this one. Get public API. This public API is the method. From this where context. com.pega.pega rules.pub.context. In this package there is a one interface, call it as a PR thread. This PR thread contains a method, call it as a get public API. So this get public API, see this one identifies the public API instance if that is currently active for this thread, the active public API instance null, etc. So first we have to get the public API. This is the public API class. So this is the public API class or interface. Okay. com.pega.pega rules.pub.runtime. See this one, pub.runtime. When you package, these are the list of interfaces and this is the public API interface. It contains a methods. It contains a what are the methods? See this one. Get parameter page. Get parameter page. Get parameter as a decimal, get parameter page. So ultimately this parameter page will return this class. This class is also present in the which package? com.pega.pega rules.pega runtime, this package. So like this there are a lot of methods, but ultimately first you need to get the public API. Here the tools is referring to the public API first. From that API you are referring the methods. Where this public API is present, com.pega.pega rules.pega runtime. In this package there is a one interface, call it as a public API. public API, and this public API interface contains all these methods. If you want to see this one, get property also, get property, get primary page, get requester, get rule message, get parameter page, get parameter page. See this one, get step page, get current thread. Okay, get parameter value also. See, I'll show you. Get parameter as a boolean, get parameter as a date, converting the parameter to integer to decimal, etc. Get parameter value, not only get parameter value, set parameter value also out there. So all these are built in Pega engine. Pega engine in the sense JavaScript methods, classes, JavaScript methods and classes. So this is also very very important because we are simply writing the code by copy pasting the Java code, but at least you try to understand what is meant by the tools. This tools is referring the public API to get the public API context. To get the public API context. How do you get this public API context? See this one. Thread container dot get dot public API. This thread container is present in the context. Mm, See this one, in the context class there is a class name called it as a thread container. This thread container will having the public method called, sorry, static method called it as a get method. See, there is a method called it as a get method. This get method is again returning the, here in the get method again get public API. What is this method? Get method. Yes. Finally, it will returns the PR thread class. Now, where is the PR thread class? PR thread class is available in the context. Now, see this one interface is PR thread. Now, it contains a get public API. I mean, initially it bit difficult for you, but don't take it light, boss. Try to understand. Get public API. So this function will returns the public API class. This public API class is present in the com.pega rules runtime. So here the remaining all methods are available. Sometimes you need to get the public API context. Sometimes you need to get the public API context. Why? Because sometimes if you write tools dot get parameter, it may not work. Sometimes you need to get that context first. So how do you get a context? If thread container dot get dot public API, then if tools equal to not equal to null, etc. like this, then you need to write a code. If you want, you can check some inbuilt Java APIs also. So this is a very very important Pega engine API. If you want to interacting with the clipboards, and even see sometimes here I want to open a database connection. There is no possibility of using obj open by handle or obj browse. Inside this Java code, I want to connect it to the database and I want to get one value. There is such a logic, there is such a need. Then obviously how can you do this? Engine API, we have an engine API. In the engine API, tools dot get a database connection. See here, control F database. See this one. Uh, there is a function called it as a get database. See this one, identify a database instance that can be used for processing.
If you want to open a database connection in the entry point of view, they will ask you, how do you open a database connection without using the OBJs and the database rules, etc. There is a one method called it as a tools dot get database. From here you can execute a queries also, everything. So that's why even exploring the OOTB activity is also very important. So here create an instance, open this. This is also OOTB rule. Here also there is some Java code. See this one, tools dot get step page. Now you got the step page. Then tools dot find a page. So see here. So very important all these things. Today we have just explored the Pega APIs, JavaScript APIs, Engine APIs. I hope at least some people can understand this video. Okay, thank you so much.